is it important to get involved in a community?
Ooh, something along that we've been talking about all morning. So we've got a super awesome community going, the Tactical Cowboy family, and all that good stuff. We work with other communities, organizations, whatever you might want to call it. But I think it's important for a couple reasons. As long as your community's squared away, right? You could be involved in a really bad community, and that could keep you involved with McDonald's and drugs and alcohol, which wouldn't be good. But I think a really squared away community is going to help you stay accountable to reach your goals. So yeah, you know, hanging out with the right people can help you reach your dietary goals, all this kind of stuff. And then also, if you're trying to do your tactical training, that kind of thing, become a better marksman. If you surround yourself with the right people, they will help you reach those goals for sure. So I know a big thing in the Tactical Cowboy community is accountability for every round you shoot. That's our big thing at all our classes that we always do, because that fits our mission set, being civilians in the United States. It's like, or if you're an LE guy, same thing. If you send that projectile out, you have to make it count. And I know the mentors, we held each other accountable. I know the Tactical Cowboy family as a whole, the pistol standard, the rifle standard, the roundup drills, all this kind of stuff really focuses on accountability of every round you shoot, and we hold each other to it. What do you think, Drew?
Yeah. I mean, again, that was a big factor in my decision to lose weight, was to show up to these classes. And it's like, you want to keep up, you know? It's kind of like healthy peer pressure.
Yeah. Oh, that's a perfect way to put it.
Yep.
Healthy peer pressure to get you to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I can be, you know, with the mentors group, some people could think I'm a little too hard on the guys. But I really try to hold the mentors to an even higher standard, because I want them to live it, you know? If they throw around on the pistol or rifle standard, or even if any shot you take on the range, you know when you're shooting on the range, okay, I can make this shot. I'm 150 yards away from a C-zone steel. I'm huffing and puffing, I'm on this barrier. You know you can hit the damn target. It's just, do you have enough discipline to force yourself to set everything in place where you actually make the shot versus rushing it, not being as disciplined. So if you got good guys around you and they're always pushing themselves to keep that discipline and, for instance, make that shot under stress, you're going to do it too. But if you're out there with a bunch of yahoos that doesn't really matter to them, they're probably not going to hold you to that standard. So yeah.
And that's why I think, you know, I don't work for Tactical Cowboy in any capacity, so I have no financial incentive to say this. But I think something people don't understand about these classes is the value proposition goes way beyond just the training, you know? Like, you show up to these classes, you meet like-minded people, you exchange knowledge about all kinds of stuff that, you know, doesn't even necessarily have anything to do with the class, right? Make new friends. Yeah. So you have to think about the second order benefits of doing this stuff, you know?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, what do you think, Blake?
I think that's true, though. You think about guys like Drew, some other folks, John, right? He's taken a lot of classes, and now he's integrated into the community.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you post a lot about how you take a class and you become part of the family. I think that's definitely an element of Tactical Cowboy and what you're trying to implement. And I think other people see that and want to be part of it. So
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Another really good way we drive that accountability standpoint is all of our courses, our marksmanship courses, are actually graded nowadays. So Drew, you'll see this today. You're going to like it a lot. Every single thing we do, holy cow, it's getting bumpy. Of course, we train you on it, but then you're graded. So there will be some people today that don't meet the 80% threshold and don't pass the class, which is fine. But I think grading everybody shows, oh, okay, I got an 82% at this static and mobile carbine mechanics. I need to step it up. I need to come back and make a 90. Or, damn, you know, I take the class. Drew got 95. I got 85. I should look at myself and be like, what the hell's wrong with me? Maybe I need to be more disciplined. Maybe I need to be better on the trigger, whatever it is. Yeah, really important thing that I think is really going to drive home those standards is grading people for every class. So yeah, pretty fun stuff.
I think that's particularly useful for marksmanship, because this is really one of those things where most people can get better,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about what you put in. So having your performance objectively evaluated, it's only going to be an opportunity for you to get better.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Boom. What do we got next? Nice. All right. So, gimmicks in the industry. This was from a social media, whatever, at the poll or story or whatever the hell you type it in, you send it over. I think there's a lot of them. I don't know. What are some you see as a consumer, Drew, that I can kind of piggyback off that? Some gimmicks you see.
Oh, that's a...
Here, I got one. I got one right now. A gimmick I see in the industry is, and this isn't taking shots at anybody, because I think if you're going out and getting any type of training, it's super important. But I think a lot of times with precision rifle, things get really, really gimmicky. Where you could say, oh, I'm Jim Bob and I can help you hit a target at 1,000 yards. Let's just be real. If you have a decently length, I can't even talk. If you've got a barrel that's 20 inches or longer with a .308 caliber, or even any better caliber than that, you type in the data, you do the hold, you do a good trigger squeeze, you're gonna hit the target. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I think is funny in precision rifle is, bench rest shooting or just super flat range type stuff, like perfect position, I'm on a mat. Of course, I can train anybody to hit at 1,000 yards. I could do all my basic fundamentals, and we could literally start at 1,000. I could bring my gun. So I'd be like, yeah, try out my gun. I already know the data on it. Boom, ping, and the customer could be like, holy cow, I learned so much from this guy. And we did learn some stuff, but part of it is with precision rifle, it's the data, right? So that's one thing I think I see that people kind of buy into, and they might buy into with a little bit more money than they need to with the precision rifle stuff.
Yeah. Well,
people are going to get heated about that.
It's hard to put this into like a general statement, but there's just a lot of training out there that makes really simple things way too complicated.
I can see that.
I don't know, like I saw this, I don't even know how to explain this. I saw this video going around Twitter a while ago where these guys were like training handgun and they were taking shots at the targets in front of them. And then they were doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
So
overcomplicated.
Yeah, it's hard to say, it's hard to come up with a rule about that. Like, if you see this and this, then it's probably a bullshit form of training. But I think, if you're just getting into this and you're not sure who to train with, who's a reputable instructor, like follow Devin and follow some competitive shooting guys too, and you'll see that like it's really about repetition and building fundamentals,
Yeah.
Like these fancy techniques that people come up with are usually useless or, even dangerous.
Yeah, I think another thing you could talk about with overcomplicating things is CQB type stuff,
Yeah.
I know we only do solo CQB, and that's because for our audience, which is civilians and some law enforcement guys and some military guys, but especially for civilians, I'm not rolling around with a team of dudes. Then I can have full kit and night vision in my rifle to do some CQB. If I'm going to do CQB, it's going to be home defense or a very, very unlikely oh shit scenario where maybe my lady or my son or my brother or something, I don't know, or my friend is in a place. I just showed up, there's an active shooting, and I respond and I want to go get them. I just don't want to wait for law enforcement to arrive, which that's your own decision. But I think a lot of times with the CQB stuff, people get really, really, really way too into what's the 3 and the 4 man doing? Which if that's your mission, you should get into that. But I think for most of us, that's not our mission.
Yeah.
Especially being stateside.
Well, I've seen a lot of people on Instagram say there's no point in doing solo CQB, and I gotta say I don't agree with that at all. I've done solo CQB classes, and you learn a lot. Like just putting yourself in that situation, learning about your reaction time, how you process things, especially when we're doing the force on force training.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think solo CQB classes are an extremely valuable experience.
Yep.
Especially for somebody who's never done anything like that before.
Yep. And you can kind of see your limits with that too, like.
Yeah.
And you see what works.
Yeah.
You know, you can do all this laser shit and dry runs all you want.
Yep.
But really, when it comes down to it, and like obviously sims or airsoft aren't real rounds, but of course you don't want to get hit by the things because it doesn't feel good. So when it really comes down to it, how are you going to enter that room? Well, if you just train this one way nonstop, but then you actually come up to it and there's real rounds or fake rounds, whatever, about to be sent your way, you're really going to figure out what's going to work for you.
Yeah.
And even not even to the standpoint of what am I going to feel, okay, not even to the standpoint of how am I going to get shot the least, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You're going to learn from the standpoint of how do I even feel confident in going into this space,
Yeah.
you know? You're probably not going to rush in there without doing some exterior checks and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, really good training.
Yeah, developing a mental process. Like, I remember when we first started doing the solo CQB stuff at Range Masters, I was kind of like all over the place.
Oh yeah,
You know?
twitchy. You're
'Cause
twitchy.
Yeah, well, you come into a room and it's like all these angles, you know, you don't really know what to do. So
You can only do so much.
Practicing that mental skill of just deliberately isolating one thing and then another and then another, and you know, staying calm and not rushing through things. Like, these are all skills that need to be practiced.
Oh, for sure.
Whether you're doing CQB with a teammate or not, you know.
Yep. And I've noticed for myself when I started getting trained in the one-man solo CQB, it made my team CQB stuff, my skills go through the roof. Because now I'm fully understanding every job of every person, right? I can see the big picture, because if you're just on your own, you have to see the big picture. There's no, oh, I've got a 2 and a 3 and a 4 man to cover that part. All I got to do is get to my corner and scan my sector. Nice. Cool.